The importance of prayer in daily life. In a quiet village nestled between lush green hills and flowing rivers, there lived a humble farmer named Ahmed. His days began early, before the sun had risen fully, when the world was still asleep. He would wake up at the break of dawn, wash his face with cold water, and kneel in prayer. It wasn't just a routine for him, it was a way of life, a deep connection to something beyond himself. Ahmed had learned from his father that prayer was not only a spiritual practice, but it was also a way to seek peace and strength for the day ahead. When you pray, his father used to say, you align your heart with the universe, and the world opens to you in ways you can't yet understand. At the beginning of each day, after offering his prayers, Ahmed would head to his fields. He wasn't wealthy, but his work was honest, and he took pride in his ability to cultivate the land with care. Despite his modest life, Ahmed had a sense of contentment that many of the villagers envied. As the months went by, the weather grew harsher. The village, which had always been blessed with enough rainfall to nourish the crops, suddenly faced a severe drought. The once lush green fields began to dry, the rivers shrank, and even the trees seemed to lose their vibrancy. The villagers started to worry. The situation was becoming desperate. The local market was empty, and many had to sell their cattle just to buy food. One evening, as the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the fields, a group of villagers gathered at the town square. They were discussing their dwindling resources and the growing possibility of famine. People exchanged ideas, but none seemed hopeful. In the midst of the discussion, Ahmed stood up and said softly, I will continue praying for rain. I believe prayer can bring us peace and strength, even if it doesn't bring rain immediately. The villagers looked at him in disbelief. But Ahmed, one of them said, we can't keep praying for rain. We need to take action. Prayers alone won't solve this problem. We need to find a solution. Ahmed, with his gentle but unwavering faith, replied, prayer doesn't just ask for help, it gives us strength to face challenges. It connects us with a higher power and helps us find peace in the most difficult times. We may not have control over the weather, but we have control over our hearts and minds. Despite the doubts of his neighbors, Ahmed continued to pray every day, offering his gratitude and asking for guidance and mercy. He believed that prayer was not just about asking for favors but about connecting with the divine, seeking strength, and having the faith to endure whatever came their way. Weeks went by, and the situation grew worse. The crops withered under the relentless sun, and many began to lose hope. But still, Ahmed prayed. Every day, without fail, he knelt in prayer before the rising sun. He would ask for guidance and help, but he also gave thanks for the little blessings he had, like his health, the love of his family, and the land that had sustained them for generations. Then, one evening, after Ahmed had finished his prayer, something miraculous happened. The sky, which had been clear and cloudless for weeks, suddenly grew dark. A soft breeze began to blow, and within moments, heavy clouds gathered, covering the sky. The first drop of rain fell. Then another. Soon, it was pouring. The villagers, who had been watching from their homes, rushed out into the streets, astonished. The once dry land was now being nourished by the rain, and hope returned to their hearts. The fields began to soak up the much-needed water, and the sound of raindrops on the rooftops filled the air. The farmers rushed to their fields, eager to see if the crops could be saved. The rain continued for days, restoring life to the village. The rivers began to flow again, the trees regained their vibrancy, and the crops, though still fragile, started to grow once more. It wasn't just the rain that restored the village's prosperity, but also the faith that Ahmed had shown in his daily prayers. The villagers, humbled and amazed, realized the truth in Ahmed's words. They saw that prayer was not simply a request for what one wanted but a practice that brought inner peace, hope, and strength during hard times. Ahmed had prayed not only for rain but for the strength to endure, the wisdom to remain calm, and the faith to trust that everything would unfold as it should. From that day on, the villagers began to embrace prayer in their daily lives. They learned that even in the most difficult circumstances, prayer had the power to bring clarity, calmness, and a sense of connection to something greater than themselves. It taught them patience, humility, and the importance of hope, even when things seemed impossible. Moral of the story: prayer is a vital part of daily life, offering not just a way to ask for help, but also a means of finding strength, peace, and guidance. In times of adversity, prayer helps us align our hearts with the divine, granting us the inner strength to face challenges with resilience and hope. It reminds us that we are never truly alone, and that faith, even in the smallest of prayers, can bring about great changes.